Hello, Facebook friends. It is Fertility Friday, and as you can see, as promised, Robin Newman is with us from Global Egg Donors. Thank you, Robin, so much for being on Fertility Friday.
I'm honored to be asked. I appreciate it.
Well, we have a lot to share with our viewers because you have a rich history with egg donation, and we like to start at the beginning. Tell us how Global Egg Donors began, and it's been around for quite some time.
I'd love to. We're going on 17 years, but
Wow.
first I want to congratulate Western Fertility and Dr. Kumar for getting the award last week from CDC. The Center for Disease Control has let everyone know that Dr. Kumar has the highest IVF success rates in the nation.
In the nation, yes, we are. That is so sweet of you.
I have been telling people this for years, and it's driven most of our business this way for many years, and I've been saying, I know he is. My records show this. Sure, there hasn't been an official report, and the donors love hearing this, and of course the
parents.
Babies.
Yeah, those intended parents.
Yeah.
Well, and for people at home who are like, I don't really understand what success rates means.
Right.
That means that, not every single in vitro fertilization process results in a transfer that becomes a baby. But here, it almost always does. That's what we're talking about in essence. So yes, and the reason why that's important, many people don't understand is sometimes there is a cost. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Robin silenced her phone and I did not silence mine. So there you go. If you heard a ring, I'm fired.
Okay.
Luckily, I'm interviewing today. So anyway, success rates are really important because you don't want to have to repeat the process if you don't have to. Of course, there's so many reasons that saves energy, time, finances.
Right.
So going to a place where you feel comfortable with success rates is key. We feel so comfortable working with you, and we would love to know the history behind Global. Thank you again for your kind words.
Absolutely. Well, we've been in existence for 17 years now. Started in South Africa. We were the very first egg donor program in all of South Africa and worked there exclusively for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I knew that I really wanted to move home. I'm born and raised in California. So I figured out how to do this all via the internet. So my very first egg donor 17 years ago is now my right arm in this Global Egg Donor business. She takes care of all the donors and I work with the intended parents. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful family. When we get an employee, they stick with us. We probably have maybe 7 now. We're not huge.
That is actually pretty large. Yeah, I think. And for many people at home who don't really understand the process, you are a global agency, but you very often and frequently help us here locally. So how does that work? Because you were telling me some people don't understand the process.
Right. Well, like I was saying, most people are coming to Western Fertility Institute, and the reason being is the success rate, because you only want to do it once. So how we work is a couple will come to us, they'll look on our website, they'll choose a donor, and then we talk about which clinic they want to go to, and I will lay out for them the cost and the success rate and the timing, and if surrogacy is available, if they treat gays. There's so much going into the choice of the clinic after you've got your donor.
So intended parents have a lot to educate themselves on, and Robin is very helpful in that arena with so much experience. So we appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And once people are educated, and perhaps that they've selected us, there are some misconceptions and myths about working with an egg donor who is gorgeous, perhaps, and highly educated, but from South Africa. The first confusion point is that they're going to be perhaps unaffordable or impractical, but explain why that's not the case.
Right. I tell couples, intended parents, single people, choose the donor first. Do not look at where she's from. It doesn't seem to matter.
I'm going to stop you right there. When you say it doesn't seem to matter and there's somebody on the other side of the world donating their eggs, all people want to know is, how does that work then?
Okay, so Dr. Kumar, let's take him for example, at Western Fertility, has a list of tests that every single donor, no matter where she lives, has to do before he will accept her. So it doesn't matter if she's in Iceland or South Africa or the Caribbean. She's going to go through the same blood test in her home country. And those, once Dr. Kumar says, great, let's go with this donor, then we get the medications to her. So now here's where the difference comes in. Let's say you've got a donor sitting as far away as you can get from here in South Africa. Her blood tests are 1/3 the cost as if she had to get them in America.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know that prior to today. Yeah. So that's a big savings.
And then we have to get the medications to her. We don't expect you to be shipping them. So the medication in South Africa, once again, 1/3 the price of America.
Wow.
So by the time you buy her flight ticket, it really makes up for the traveling and the difference that most of your local donors would be. The other wonderful thing about these donors, this is a big one for me. All over the world, donors donate. They actually donate altruistically. They don't get paid. Very, very, very little. Only in America really are the donors paid for their eggs, which is hard for me. Our donors get more than most donors in the world. They get up to $2,000 to donate their eggs. And plus they get their trip here. So I want them to come, have a good time in California. They are here for 8 days, and then they go home with a couple $1,000 in their pocket unless they've spent it all. Which is pretty easy to do here in California.
Young women can shop.
So this makes them very, very affordable compared to a local donor that may live next to your clinic.
So it really pays to do your homework and select the donor that has the characteristics that you want. So let's talk about that, because some people might be considering egg donation but haven't a clue how to go about it and what is most important when looking at donors. So tell me.
Okay, so
how do you start?
Okay, so donors, if you're really, let's see, how is the best way to start? I always tell them, please just go to the website and look at our donors. Okay. Some people just get overwhelmed by that. So I approach it 2 ways. Send me your picture if you want a donor to look something like you, or a picture of somebody that you want your donor to look like. So after you've chosen a few donors, then we start looking at their previous records. Are they a high egg producer? Because maybe you want twins. Maybe you want to get 3 to 4 kids out of a single donation. That's possible. Other things we look at is intelligence of great importance to you. Do you want a specific look? Do you want a beauty queen? Do you want someone highly educated? There are so many different areas. I mean, some people will come to me and they say they want a musical donor, and then they see a picture of a lovely donor holding a puppy, and that's the one they connect with.
So sometimes it's just as simple as connecting with the photo to start, and kind of going through there. Go ahead.
After that, people can then choose to have a Skype conversation with the donor if they want to.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's not all agencies offer that opportunity. Right. So that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we want the couples to really connect with the donor. However, if we will honor their level of comfort. Some people want me to choose, and they don't want to know anything about the donor. I think they're a little afraid of opening up their heart too much because it's such a hard, long journey they've been through already. So they don't want to open up too much to this donor. So that's fine. I'll honor that. Some people want to Skype with their donor. They want to meet her in person and then continue on a relationship with her for years. We'll honor that too. It's really wherever the intended parent is at.
You have a stellar reputation for providing what we call premium donors. What is it that makes your selection process so special? In other words, is everybody from South Africa and highly educated? Tell me about the mix of women and how you find them and what you offer.
Well, we have everybody. We don't turn down great donors as long as they're healthy. They have to speak English.
That helps, yes.
And they have to be very responsible when we're interviewing. They have to go through quite an application process, and they have to show responsibility and understanding of what they're doing above all. But then we have doctors, we have housewives.
Wow.
We have those that have donated 3 or 4 times, those that have never donated. So there's a huge range of donors.
Well, you mentioned that, and I think it's of interest to everybody. How do you find your donors?
Well, since we've been into this for 17 years, that's a lot of word of mouth.
I bet.
We had one donor, and because there's very few global, worldwide egg donor programs in the world. So one donor from Iceland 5 years ago jumped on the internet because she had heard about egg donation. And now we have 18 Iceland egg donors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
like
because
the other side of the world.
Yeah, and because we started in South Africa, we probably have 40 in South Africa.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, we've also got, Russia, Guatemala, the Caribbean, Nigeria, China, you name it.
Literally all over the world.
Yeah, and then there's wonderful mixed races too. It was last year someone came to me and said, well, I'm African and my husband is Chinese.
Oh, wow.
And we had that mix.
That is pretty cool to have a nice spectrum.
That was a miracle, but these babies are all miracles.
Oh, yes. We always say love makes a family, but it takes a lot of miracles to get there.
Yes, it does.
Well, one of the things I was curious about is if people are watching and they might be interested in egg donation, how do you decide yes or no, and what do people need to know about what qualifies for a good egg donor? What age?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So the very basics, they have to be between age 20 and 30. Sometimes we'll keep a donor that goes over age 30, but only if she's really a top producer, responsible person, and she recovers quickly. Our donors normally don't donate more than once a year because it can be hard on the body. I think once a year is fine. So we do have donors that have been with us 10 years.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, they must really.
A little aside is just last week I had a donor. She has now done her 10 years with us.
Wow.
And we've spent wonderful times together in her donations in India, Cyprus, and California. And so last week she said, I'm not donating anymore. Can I come stay with you anyway?
So, I think that's a selling point.
So
Can we
she
share where you live in the areas?
Yeah.
That's it, because people really enjoy coming out for the process. Tell me about how that works.
Well, they don't all stay with me. It's their choice. A lot of them prefer to stay by the clinic and go to Disneyland.
Oh,
to go to Disneyland.
I get that. Okay.
Or Universal Studios.
But Robin lives in a slice of heaven.
So I live in a beautiful place where I'm born and raised in Santa Barbara, California.
One of my favorite places
You can come
ever.
visit.
Oh, I will definitely do that. Oh, thank you. I was hoping you would say that.
So this donor has visited me there, of course, before. So she comes from the UK, where she's a police sergeant.
Wow.
And so I knew what she liked to do, so we lined up all these fun things.
So you don't just recruit egg donors, you really take it through the whole process. I understand you go to their doctor's appointments with them.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, that very same donor, her younger sister is donating for us. So next week I will be in Cyprus with her younger sister to accompany her to the appointments.
Wow. So you're not only bringing people to the United States, but it's not just global, in other words, on the egg donation process, but also the recipients are all over the world.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, yes.
What are some of the favorite places that your career has taken you? That's fascinating.
We just became the first donor program to be accepted into Australia this year.
That's huge.
The first legal contract.
Congratulations.
Legal. So I've been working on that 12 years. So right now, Sydney and Melbourne are high on my list of favorite places.
I bet.
Cancun, Mexico, of course.
Wow.
That's a blast because I'm an ocean person.
Yes.
I'm happy not to be going back to India much anymore. That was enough.
You've been there a lot.
Yeah, but I don't always accompany the donors. No, we have someone that is hired to greet them, to meet them at the airport, and go to the appointments with them.
So again, they're never alone. It may
Oh,
not
no.
they may not have the gift of being with you at that time, but they do always have the gift of having somebody guide them.
And they normally have someone with them. Like they'll usually travel with a husband, a boyfriend, a mom. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, we want to know if anybody has a question. We want you to know, or if you're watching the replay, type in where you're watching from, because we think it's fun to see where people tune in from anywhere in the world on the replays. And also know that just because you didn't catch us live, you can submit a question to us through the comments or even direct message if it's a private one. And Robin, I'm sure, would be kind enough to answer. I'll pass those
Love
along.
to.
If she can, of course. And we want to thank you so much for coming on. But before we wrap it up today for Fertility Friday, is there anything you think people at home need to know that we didn't cover, or some fun facts?
Some fun facts. I would say in our 17 years, 40% of the couples we help are from Australia.
That is really cool.
That's interesting.
The Land Down Under is on my dream list, so
Yeah.
that's really neat.
And then all over Europe, of course, the Caribbean. America is only about 15%, but we have references. If you want to speak to somebody, we'll happy to give you some references. You can
That's
speak to
huge.
someone closer to home.
That's really nice, because people enjoy hearing your success stories.
Yeah,
And I can,
and especially from someone in their same country.
that makes perfect sense. And I want you to know that one of the reasons that Robin's been the first guest on this program with an egg donation agency is because she is one of our most frequent. So we really are absolutely overjoyed to have the opportunity to work with you, to have you as a resource. And I know the viewers at home will enjoy asking a few questions and knowing, oh, hello, Whitney, and thank you for tuning in from Kentucky. That's so fun. And we look forward to hearing where you'll be tuning in from in the replay. And please share the love, share this broadcast. There's so much to learn. Even working in fertility for the last year, it's only a fraction of the knowledge you've acquired, and I'm fascinated. I learn something new every day.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's such a reward to be a part of growing families and to get to know people like you, Robin, who help make that dream come true. I'm a small fraction. It's just a joy to share the story. So thank you so much for being on Fertility Friday. And again, if you at home have any more questions, reach out to us, and we will see you here next week with another amazing story. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.